Greetings, comic friends. It was a great week for new comics. We're going to go over what I picked up now in TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. It was a little bigger week, total of 11 books, nothing completely unmanageable, and they were all great. Like, it was, for having that many books, usually there's one or two kind of books in there. These were, in my opinion, all fantastic. But again, that is my opinion. Off the top, we'll start with Green Arrow number 3. This has a bit of a twist in it, and it's very, very interesting. I don't want to give it away. I don't like to give away anything. But I was kind of wondering where this book was going in the first 2 issues. And we see now where it's what the main crux of this story is. And it's different, and it's very interesting. And I am 100% on board. I like the first 2 issues, and I really like Green Arrow, so I was excited to get a Green Arrow book back. But, you know, I like the 2 issues, but I was kind of like, is this going to... It starts to need to start going somewhere, and this definitely pushes it along. Silk number 2, so Silk is in like a comatose state, and she is that way because someone is trying to keep her out of their way. And the way that it's done is it puts her like in these fantasy scenarios until she realizes she's in a fantasy scenario, then it switches and her mind kind of goes blank again. But we get a little more information about who's behind it and reasonings and all that, and it's good. I like Silk a lot more than I thought I would. I mean, it's just not just the book, but the character. I think she's really, really interesting. Warlock Rebirth. So Adam Warlock is kind of in a slump here. Eve Warlock was made to be better than him, and she kind of is. So she took the Soul Stone from him, and he just kind of goes into mopey mode. And Doctor Strange is there to like help bring him, like, look, I know stuff's bad and it kind of sucks, but we need you. Yeah, that's pretty much what that issue is about. TMNT Usagi Yojimbo. Again, it's just a fun book. It's a fun crossover book. It's not going to win any awards or anything, but it's 2 great properties coming together, as they have many times before, and it's a lot of fun. Either you're into the idea or you're not, so I'm not going to try to sell it to you. Also, TMNT, Last Ronin, Lost Years, number 4. Yes, number 4. I was really hesitant as to how this book would be compared to the actual Last Ronin. Like, the Last Ronin was amazing. I love that book. I still love that book. I want to get a collected edition so I can read it more often, or at least easier, more often. But in the follow-up book, it's a fun split between what happened before the events of Last Ronin and what happened after the events of Last Ronin. So we kind of have 2 stories going on. I don't think they'll ever come together. I think it's just a storytelling technique, is they're kind of bookending the Last Ronin. But it's done really well, and it's really interesting. I do enjoy the prequel aspect, the prequel story to it a little bit more than the I guess epilogue part of it. But that's still really good and interesting. We have a new crop of turtles that are kind of still in training. April's daughter is there. And the prequel stuff is a lot of fun too, and it's pretty brutal. Mikey went through a lot. She-Hulk number 14. So She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts are kind of having a hard time with their relationship now that his powers are back and they can't really touch each other. Makes it very, very difficult to have a romantic relationship. But there's this other character, Scoundrel, that's been stealing things, and at the same time kind of flirting with Jennifer. And I feel like Jennifer is kind of on the fence because she's not really happy in her current relationship for obvious reasons. And Scoundrel is being very, very pushy. Here we kind of see what Scoundrel's all about. It's kind of been a mystery up to this point. He's just kind of popped around like, I'm stealing this, bloody kiss her or whatever, and do whatever he does to flirt with She-Hulk. But he is definitely actually interested in being romantically involved with She-Hulk. But what he's been doing, kind of, and who he is and his background, kind of comes to light here. And don't want to give anything away, but it's good. Predator 4, so we have different humans from different time periods, all kind of warriors in their own sense, thrown into a game preserve. The, what's her name? Theta ends up there, and they're trying to escape. The ship is taken over by some of them to be fair, for not horrible reasons. Theta just kind of wants to go and do her thing, and these people want to go back to Earth and say, hey, look, we have all this information on these predators. This will help save a lot of people. So they've taken off, and they've taken over the ship. And, of course, there is a hitchhiker on board. Not surprisingly. Deadpool 8, so the ulterior assassination group is really interested in Princess, Wade's symbiotic dog. And this is just a story of them trying to trick him into helping get the dog. It doesn't end super great. Not like story-wise. The story's great, but it doesn't end great. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. So we got both Predator and Alien this week, which is fantastic. The only thing is missing is Planet of the Apes to get that full triumvirate of the Fox books that I read. But Alien 3, still a great story. So we have these researchers on this ice planet. They discover a face hugger. Weyland-Yutani finds out about it, buys the company, and sends people to go recover it. In the mayhem, a whole frozen hive of xenomorphs is let loose, and of course, Weyland-Yutani's like, we want specimens alive. Thankfully, well, I guess not thankfully, but surprisingly, the Weyland-Yutani grunts that they sent are like, no, screw that. We're killing them so we can get out of here alive. Because, they see this swarm and it's like, it's not worth risking our lives for it. It's, the Weyland-Yutani execs don't care, but the people on the ground like, no, we see what these things can do. There was suspicion that these original researchers were conducting some other experiments other than what they were there for, that is to kind of extract water. And it's still a little bit hazy, but leaning towards like, maybe they were kind of up to something. Amazing Spider-Man number 28. This issue and the last issue, I'm happy to say I've enjoyed reading Amazing Spider-Man. We know it hasn't been great, or at least in my opinion, it hasn't been great. But these last two books in this current story, I do enjoy. So it has to deal with Doc Ock's original arms, and he's made new arms, which I have to say I really, really like. I think they're really interesting. They make sense. It's a bunch of individual sort of links in the arm that are autonomous, and they can split up and do their own thing, but then they all kind of come together in a way that makes sense to form his arms if that's what he needs. They look great when they're the individual robots. They have like little eyes, but when they all come together in the arms, they look like the suction cups of octopus arms. I think it's a really clever design, and not just aesthetically, but also in the way that they function. So I'm excited to read Amazing Spider-Man again, which that in and of itself is good. And lastly, Ghost Rider number 15. This book has been great. The story's been great. The story has been going on with Danny Ketch and him. He volunteering to this company. What was it, like Infernal Inc. or something? Like, I wonder if they're bad. To have the spirit of vengeance extracted from him but they're going to use it for their own purposes. It's not evil purposes, but for their own purposes. And it's clear that they don't really care about Danny's well-being. The story actually wraps up in this issue, which surprised me. A lot happens here. I feel like this could have been expanded upon a lot more, and not that it's bad that it wrapped up. You know, often I'll talk about stories that like, no, this should have wrapped up like 5 issues ago. I could have seen this and been okay with this going on a little bit longer. There would have been a really big scene change. The dynamic of the characters would have been completely different. I think it could have been a lot of fun. So I think this is one of those cases where the story ended too soon and could have been fleshed out a little bit more. It's not, and still ended in the same place. Like the ending is not dissatisfying. It's good. I just think there's a bit more juice in that orange that could have been squeezed out and enjoyed. But as it is, it was still a great book, and it wrapped up a great story in a really good way. So I'm happy with it. But that's it. That is all 11 books that I picked up this week. So let me know your thoughts on those that I picked up, what you picked up that you really enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.